The world teeters on the edge of a financial abyss. Trump's tariff gambit ignites a global economic war. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the corridors of power, U.S. President Donald Trump has hurled the world toward a financial revolution with a jaw-dropping 150% tariff on the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. This audacious strike, aimed at thwarting their bold bid to forge an independent financial system, is a desperate attempt to safeguard the U.S. dollar's iron grip on global trade. But instead of crushing the BRICS bloc, Trump's gambit may have lit the fuse on a spectacular backfire. In a stunning counterattack, BRICS has unleashed a radical new payment system that threatens to shatter the very foundations of Western financial dominance. As the U.S. scrambles to cling to its economic throne and BRICS races toward a future free of American control, the stage is set for a high-stakes showdown that could redefine the global order. Is this the twilight of the dollar's reign, or will Washington unleash even more ruthless measures to cling to power? The world holds its breath as the stakes soar to unprecedented heights. Trump's ultimatum: the dollar's dominance is non-negotiable. On March 27, 2025, President Trump stood before the world and issued a chilling warning to the BRICS alliance: challenge the U.S. dollar at your peril. His message was as blunt as a sledgehammer. Any effort to undermine the greenback's global supremacy would trigger crippling economic retaliation, including tariffs that could skyrocket to an unheard-of 150%. The dollar is the lifeblood of the world economy, Trump thundered, and we'll defend it with everything we've got. This hardline stance isn't just rhetoric. It's a battle cry from a White House increasingly rattled by the rising tide of financial rebellion. For decades, the U.S. dollar has reigned supreme as the world's reserve currency, a crown that grants America unrivaled leverage over international trade, sanctions, and monetary policy. It's a privilege that lets Washington borrow cheap, bully adversaries and bend global markets to its will. But now, with BRICS daring to dream of a dollar-free future, Trump sees red. His administration views this financial insurgency as an existential threat to American hegemony, a direct assault on the economic muscle that underpins U.S. global power. The 150% tariff isn't just a policy, it's a declaration of war, rooted in Trump's signature economic nationalism and his love affair with tariffs as a weapon of mass disruption. BRICS strikes back, accelerating the dollar's demise. Far from cowering under Trump's threats, the BRICS nations have doubled down with a defiance that's shaking the global establishment. Representing over 40% of humanity and a ballooning chunk of the world's GDP, this powerhouse coalition is sprinting toward financial independence, and they're not looking back. Trump's tariffs, meant to strangle their ambitions, have instead fueled a firestorm of innovation. In a jaw-dropping riposte, BRICS has turbocharged efforts to ditch the dollar, rolling out bilateral trade deals in local currencies like the Brazilian real and Chinese yuan. These moves sidestep the greenback entirely, slashing exchange risks and thumbing their noses at U.S. financial overlords. This isn't just about saving a few bucks. It's a calculated plot to rewrite the rules of global trade. By trading directly in their own currencies, BRICS is building a fortress against America's favorite weapon: sanctions. From Moscow to Brasilia, these nations are fed up with Washington's ability to choke their economies at will. Trump's aggression? It's backfiring spectacularly, acting not as a deterrent but as a rallying cry for a world tired of dancing to America's tune. The gold rush, BRICS' secret weapon against U.S. control. In a twist straight out of a geopolitical thriller, BRICS has launched a gold-hoarding spree that's sending chills down Washington's spine. By the close of 2024, analysts predict these nations will amass a staggering 6,200 tons of gold, over 21% of global reserves. This isn't just a rainy day fund. It's a brazen hedge against dollar dependency. Gold, with its timeless allure and immunity to U.S. sanctions, is BRICS's ace in the hole, a glittering shield against financial volatility that Washington can't touch. China and Russia are leading the charge, snapping up bullion at a breakneck pace, while India quietly bolsters its own stash. This isn't diversification, it's a war chest for a future where the dollar's stranglehold is history. With every gleaming ton, BRICS is laying the groundwork for a financial system that could one day rival the West's, potentially even backing new currencies or payment networks with the metal that's outlasted empires. Trump's tariff tantrum, it's only sped up the timeline. BRICS Pay, the blockchain bombshell that could topple the dollar. But the real game changer came this week with the unveiling of BRICS Pay, a blockchain-powered payment system that's nothing short of revolutionary. This cutting-edge platform lets member nations trade in their own currencies, bypassing the dollar and the Western-dominated SWIFT network that's long been America's financial spyglass. The implications are seismic. No more conversion fees, no more U.S. sanctions choking their lifeline, and no more bowing to Washington's whims. Built on blockchain's unassailable security, BRICS Pay isn't just a rival to SWIFT, it's a middle finger to the entire U.S.-led financial order. Transactions zip across borders with transparency and efficiency, all beyond the prying eyes of American regulators. This isn't a tweak to the system. It's a full-on rebellion that could lure other nations into a parallel financial universe, one where the dollar's once mighty shadow fades to irrelevance. Beyond BRICS, a global revolt brews. The ripple effects are already spreading like wildfire. Nations from Iran to Argentina, long crushed under U.S. sanctions, are eyeing BRICS' playbook as their ticket to freedom. Even U.S. allies in the Middle East and Southeast Asia are hedging their bets, sniffing out these alternative systems as insurance against a volatile Washington. Picture this: a sprawling network of countries trading outside the dollar's reach, each new player amplifying the system's pull. It's a domino effect that could snowball into a global uprising against American financial tyranny. Ditching the IMF and World Bank, BRICS's nuclear option. In a move that could detonate the post-World War II financial order, BRICS is mulling a mass exodus from the IMF and World Bank, Washington's twin pillars of economic control. Sick of what they call a rigged game favoring Western elites, these nations are building their own institutions: the New Development Bank, NDB, and the Contingent Reserve Arrangement, CRA. Unlike their Western counterparts, these bodies don't demand soul-crushing austerity or force-feed privatization to desperate borrowers. They're the scaffolding of a rival financial empire, one that could soon challenge the West's stranglehold on global money flows. The Panama Canal Showdown, Trump's next battleground. The clash has spilled onto another explosive front, the Panama Canal. This vital trade artery, handling over 5% of global maritime commerce, is now a flashpoint in the U.S. BRICS cage match. In early 2025, Trump vowed to wrestle back American dominance over the canal, railing against extortionate fees and China-linked port operators like C.K. Hutchison Holdings. His solution? A $22.8 billion deal to hand port control to U.S. giant BlackRock, yanking Panama out of China's Belt and Road orbit. It's a muscular flex, but one that might push BRICS to seek new trade routes, further eroding U.S. leverage. China's quiet power play. Amid the chaos, China, the BRICS heavyweight, plays it cool. While Trump blusters, Beijing builds, forging ties with Latin America and Africa, diversifying trade paths through the Arctic, and pushing the yuan as a global player. China's strategy is patience with a purpose. Its gold reserves and BRICS Pay leadership position it to cash in big when the dollar falters. This isn't a sprint, it's a marathon, and China's betting on the long game. The dollar's last stand? The cracks are showing. The dollar's share of global reserves has dipped below 60%, as central banks diversify into yuan, euros, and gold. For the U.S., the fallout could be brutal: soaring borrowing costs, pricier imports, and a sanctions arsenal that's losing its bite. Trump's hardball tactics might delay the inevitable, but the tide is turning. BRICS isn't just tweaking the system, they're rewriting it. A multipolar future looms. What's emerging isn't a new dollar. It's a fractured, multipolar financial world. The yuan, euro, and regional digital currencies could share the spotlight, with trade splintering into a web of bilateral deals. Power will scatter, alliances will shift, and the U.S. will face a choice: adapt to a humbler role or double down and risk isolation. The dollar won't collapse tomorrow, but its unchallenged reign is on borrowed time. BRICS' rise isn't a fluke, it's a reckoning. Trump's tariffs didn't stop it, they supercharged it. The question now isn't if the dollar's dominance will fade, but how fast. The world watches, breathless, as the economic titans collide. One thing's clear: the old order is crumbling, and what comes next could change everything.